Okay, that is music from DSX, Mankind Divided, ambient mix. I do not own the rights to the music. I did not create the music, and nor do I claim to do such. Alright, this is your host of the Gang Stalking Awareness. My name is Dustin French. I am a native of the dirty, dirty South. Lived on the Gulf Coast my whole entire life. And I just want to start this out by going into how I ended up on this gang stalking program, list, whatever the hell you want to call this. It's very evil, very wicked, very decisive. It's straight from the pits of hell is what it is. I started out as a community organizer. I then became a community leader of West Tillman's Corner. My family actually settled West Tillman's Corner, the Langham family. We are cousins of the Langan family. I am actually the third cousin of Joseph Langan, who was instrumental with John LaFleur and a civil rights protest leader by the name of Noble Beasley, who all three are great exceptional heroes that brought civil rights to not only Mobile, Alabama, but the state of Alabama, and also aided in bringing civil rights to our African-American brothers and sisters across the United States. If you've never been to Mobile, Alabama, give this city a shot. It is a gem that has not been discovered on the Gulf Coast. Mardi Gras actually started here. Aside from the wacky politics that go on, which is literally a circus, and I think that everybody in Mobile and in Pensacola and Biloxi can't agree with it. It is quite a sideshow. Come to Mobile and see us. Come check us out, and come during Mardi Gras. Come see the Mardi Gras Museum. Come see our moon pie factory. No pun intended to Councilman Richardson. And folks, Mobile is a lovely place. It's very cheap to live here. We do want to keep it that way. We are a family-friendly city. So aside from all the wackiness of the politics that you hear and a little bit of bad PR, Southern hospitality can still be found in the city of Mobile. So I found out that I was on this list through an unknown source. And I want to tell you how I ended up on this list. Now, I don't own any guns. I don't own any weapons. I don't believe in murder. I'm actually a moderate. I tend to swing both sides. I'm not going to get into my political views because that's not what this is about. But I started out as a low-level community organizer. I then became a big community organizer in West Tillman's Corner that my family had settled in certain parts of the county of Mobile. The elderly had got together. There was a bad meth crisis that had taken over our community, and me and three other guys were considered the elderly had got together West Tillman's Corner. After the annexation of Mayor Jones, Tillman's Corner actually split in half. The east side went with the city and the west side stayed with the county, even though we are underneath the 3-mile police jurisdiction line. So I was essentially put up to be the community leader, to gather intelligence on the meth operation that was going on, which still to this day still has remnants of it going on. And I went to Mobile Police Department, which is what I was asked to do by the community, and they started treating me rudely. I actually met with a guy that I used to go to high school with, and I'm not going to put his name out there because he still is, to my understanding, involved with Mobile Police Department and the detective. Now, the detective was nice, but whenever I had called in, I had heard some rude chatter in the background, and then that's when the elderly said, nope, we ain't working with them. We ain't working with them at all. Nope, we ain't going to tolerate that crap. We will not tolerate that crap. You know, is a long story. So to say the short side of it, you know, I then got involved in Democrat politics, which actually blew my family, which is Christian conservative on my dad's side. And, you know, it did cause a little bit of a rift because my grandmother and certain members who were friends of hers of this group had detested Mayor Sam Jones. Mayor Sam Jones, I had a talk with him about it. He was very kind. He was very respectful. And one thing about it was that, you know, it worked out in the good that they did annex because the local sheriff's department, Mobile County Sheriff's Department, and it's totally ridiculous that the city of Sims had actually left and refused to get their own police department, the local sheriffs had become overwhelmed with the meth crisis. So it did help that Mobile, in the end, the annexation did help. It was a blessing in disguise. But during the election of Mayor Sam Jones, I started getting harassed. What my job was to deal with the white community that may have some complaints and deliver them, and I delivered all of them to Mayor Sam Jones, and work with him to better understand how he would be able to unite the whites. He did want to have a session to where any and everybody could come in and speak with the city council and him. He wanted to take a new approach. He had some regrets of things that he had done wrong. I believe he mentioned that he could have communicated better with the city council. He felt very let down that he could have done things differently with the police and with the fire department. But the election is over. Mayor Simpson won, and Mayor Jones, who is, my view on him has changed a lot since I got to know him. There were no cameras, there were no live stream, there was no reason for him to talk to me the way that he did. I found him to be a very kind, respectable human being just like us that makes mistakes. So with that said, I started getting harassed with these fake profiles, and the only reason I responded to them was because I had the idea that maybe it was police officers that didn't want to get blackballed from the police, maybe it was the fire department, heck, maybe it was federal officials that lived here, that worked here, that operated here, that didn't want to get involved in politics, and because of the undercover work that they do, they didn't want to give me their real name, and that's understandable. You know, we have to have undercover police officers and law enforcement agents in the city of Mobile so that they can investigate human smuggling, drug dealers, and threats against the city of Mobile, which there are threats all across the world. You know, we do live in a dynamic landscape. So what turned into fake profiles harassing me then turned in, and they waited a year, it then turned into unmarked cars hanging around my house. I found spyware on my phone. I was then almost framed by my probation officer. And they were claiming that I didn't report when I did. I did fail one drug test, and I will admit to this, I did go and get some CBD when it came out, and they told me it didn't show up on drug test, and it did. So for all of you trying to get around your drug test, thinking that you can go try the new synthetic drug, and I will tell you, I've been clean off of marijuana for a long time now. I do view marijuana as a drug. I don't view CBD as a drug. It does show up on your drug test. Okay, so my attorney had got me off on good behavior, and the crap still continued. It was like they were angry that I got off on good behavior. My attorney, who was a prominent attorney in Mobile, told me to flee. I fled, and then I went to Panama City Beach. I actually prayed about it. I felt led to Panama City Beach. There were some things that were done. I called them confirmations. I actually went to get gas. I'm offered a job at this gas station. The manager really liked me, so she asked me to move in with her in Niceville to help her out with bills. She had her 2 kids living out. A very lovely woman. I actually love that woman. She is a very, very good manager. And you know, I then started getting gang stalked by the Jewish community. Lights getting shined in my face. Everybody was rude to me. There were a bunch of lies going around. And you know, I left. I went to South Florida. The same thing happened there. And it was all around the Jewish community, same lies, and I was able to trace the lies back to them. I actually have friends in South Florida. I have friends all over the United States. But they knew people who knew people, and the lies come at me. I said, this is crazy. I would never do anything that these people are accusing me of. You know, while I was in Panama City Beach, I do need to reiterate on this, because they were posing as Latins, but I could tell the difference between a Jewish person and a Latin person. They transferred me from her store, and this is while I was in Panama City Beach, to the Jewish manager's store. I later found out the whole company was being ran by Jews. And he would accuse me of not stocking the cooler at night when it was impossible to stock the cooler, when all of these Jewish people would come in a timely manner and hinder me from stocking the cooler. And then what he was doing was called a I forget the corporate term for it, but it's where they give you impossible jobs and they write you up and claim that you can't do the task and stuff. And they were trying to frame me, is what they were trying to do. They were paying with fake IDs. They were spreading slander. They were honking horns everywhere that I went. They were giving me go-to-hell looks. And I was just trying to keep the peace. I was just trying to support myself. You know, I later apologized to them. Well, I get to South Florida. My car goes out. And Kia eventually found that somebody had stabbed a hole underneath my car in the oil pan. And it caused the oil to leak out. And, you know, it's just a chain of stuff that happened. They were overtly recording me. They were doing covert harassment. You know, I would get out there on Front Beach Road and I would pick up the trash. And I stopped doing it because of their harassment. And because the mayor of Mobile is Jewish, he claims to be a Christian, but he's well established in the Jewish community, and he doesn't marry white women, and neither does he doesn't marry Jewish women, excuse me, and, you know, apparently either does his son. So, I mean, I find that ironic, but I mean, you know, the modern day Jewish community only cares about money and social standing, and they have a fake doctrine called the Justice Doctrine, to where they actually go behind the scenes and they manipulate people, and then they claim it's God giving them judgment. But the problem is that God is in a vending machine, and he doesn't operate that fast unless your life is in serious danger and you need an angel to save you. So, needless to say, I was a targeted individual in two senses. One, speaking out and being the only and the number one critic of the Jewish mayor of Mobile, and secondly, of the Jewish community, to bring in attendance to a synagogue, and I was treated like nothing less than an animal. I was robbed, slandered, my car sabotaged, treated rudely, and I mean, it's just disgusting. But I mean, it is what it is. Through it all, you know, I was able to be let in on a lot of things, and I will just say this, you know, I am an avid fighter, and I'm very intelligent, and I'm very wise, apparently. I never thought of myself as wise. Everybody's telling me that. I guess I'm wise, you know, but I do have a lot more wisdom to learn. So, with that said, as promised, I did say on the intro that I would go over, you know, how to know if you're under police, underneath police surveillance. Excuse me. It's on the back of my tongue. I really need some coffee. I'm not as young as I used to be either. Before I go into this, again, do not automatically think that you are a targeted individual or that you are being investigated by the police if you see any of these signs. You never, ever, ever approach police officers who are doing a surveillance session, and you are not to expose them doing a surveillance session. Once you determine that this is gang stalking, myself and others, as pros at this, we urge you to gather evidence, okay? But don't think that because the police, you know, or other law enforcement agencies are in your yard, or excuse me, in your neighborhood, hanging out around your house with strange vehicles, that you're targeted individuals. Again, folks, please do not disrupt police operations that are trying to keep you safe. So the first thing is obviously you start to see these strange cars in your neighborhood. Okay, so anybody in the neighborhood, of course, is going to be like, what is going on here? Okay. The second thing is that people are going to look out of their window at your house. This is the key. If you start to notice people driving by and specifically looking at your house, and it is pretty much a whole bunch of people, okay, you are under gang stalking police style surveillance, okay? The third sign is that you're going to start to notice people following you around. Okay? One of the ways that people follow you around is not actually behind you, but actually on the opposite side of the road from you. Okay? Most people don't know that. Okay? A lot of these gang stalking and gang stalkers are coordinating stuff through secret apps and through walkie-talkies. So, there was one video that I had seen on Twitter of one of the gang stalking TIs in Texas. This gang stalking crew come out with the emergency hazards. Okay? Now, don't jump to conclusions whenever you see the signs of surveillance. They're going to do two things next, and it literally works hand in glove. The next two things that they're going to do is that they're going to start flashing lights in your face. You're going to start to notice people flashing lights in your face, okay? And it's going to be people going down the opposite side of the road of you, flashing on their high beams, are coming up behind you and flashing on their high beams, okay? They are signaling each other that you, the TI, is on the road, okay? The second thing that they are going to do is that, the third thing that they are going to do, I'm reading from my list right here. The third thing that they are going to do is that they're going to install what is called a noise campaign, okay? And if you see these three signs, you are a TI, okay? Now, you don't just go off the sign that, oh, I'm going down the road, somebody flashed a high beam at me. No, it's going to be well coordinated. You're going to be able to tell, okay? They are going to use what's called a noise campaign, okay? Now, it could be people driving past your house, slamming on the horn, people with loud exhaust going up the road, people with whistles, blowing their whistles, and it's going to be very well coordinated, and what is going to happen here is that they are going to try to anchor your emotions to that annoying thing that they're doing, so that way, whenever they do the annoying thing, it triggers you, okay? And the whole goal of it is to make you go crazy. Now, you can go back to my intro. I go over a brief description and some of the things that they do. Please go back to that. Guys, start out at my intro. Don't start out at podcast 3 or 10 or 12. Start out at the intro and then work your way down, because it's very lengthy material, and we're going to be having people on this podcast who are fellow TIs. And the most important thing for all of the targeted individuals is to work together. Now, let me say this in a sensible manner. There are people who are schizophrenic. There are people who do have legitimate mental conditions, okay? So, if that is you, you really, really, really need to separate yourself from our community. Now, folks, I'm going to tell you this, it is a synthetic mental condition that they're trying to put on you, okay? The best thing is do not act to the paranoia. Do not act to the paranoia. That's what they want. They want you in a paranoid state, because whenever you're paranoid and you think everything is the gang stalkers, guess what's going to happen? You're going to start to go crazy. Do not play into it. There's an end to this. I am telling you now, please, let me uphold you. Let me speak true wisdom into you. There is a true end to this. Get an attorney, okay? Record everything. Get your media going and show the people. Now, you don't come all the way out and go, yeah, I'm getting burned with weapons and, all these crazy people are hanging around me. You don't do that, folks. You have to lay your case out. So if that's you and everything is everything, okay, do not do that. And the people I'm talking to is not anybody on my Twitter feed, but I've seen a lot of people come out. I actually read a website and I read a Reddit to where this person was doing this, and it was a disaster. Lay your evidence out, and I'm not talking about people that have 10,000 tweets, okay, because the content is already built for you. You see what I'm saying? So, anyways, I have 10 more minutes left of this podcast, so I want to talk about the progression of how they start the gang stalking. You're going to first come under surveillance, okay? The people behind it, who may be a corporation, it may be a community leader, it may be a pissed off cop, it may be a Masonic lodge, it may be a pissed off religious group, or it may just be somebody messing with you. The first thing that they're going to do is put you under surveillance. They're going to gather information on you. The first phase that they do is called reconnaissance, okay? So you're going to start to see the surveillance stuff. The second thing that they are going to do is that they're going to start their community slander. You're the most horriblest thing. You're the worst thing. We have nothing good to say about you. And then essentially, they're only going to show the bad things about you to the community. This is key to their little thing, okay? They're only going to show bad things about you. They're never going to show anything good. They're never going to tell your accomplishments. They're never going to tell anything good that you did, because it maintains their narrative that you were the most baddest person, you're an evil threat, you're a pedophile, you're a meth head, and all of this. So it is important that if you're in gang stalking, you do not commit any crimes, okay? You do not drink one beer and go off and drunk drive. You do not give them any way for them to furthermore frame you, okay? So that is the second thing that they're going to do. The third thing that they're going to do is start anchoring you. They're going to start doing the annoyances. And then while they're doing that, they're going to flash lights in your face, stalk you around, and try to stress you out, okay? If you try to go anywhere else, they're going to contact their operatives in that city and do the same thing. Now, I'm not going to get into all of that right now, but I want the people in this targeted individual community to know that it's all starting to come together for us. Hold out, wait, endure. You're learning endurance through this, guys. There's some of y'all that's been made homeless. I've been there. I did it in Panama City Beach. I understand how you feel. Okay, I came underneath horrible Jewish discrimination. Horrible. They wouldn't even treat a dog that way. But I have a new look at looking at their community, and I know that God is going to judge them, and I know, unlike them, that God isn't a vending machine, and that it's out of my hands, it's in His hands, and He is going to punish them. They transgressed the entire Tanakh, and it's not about. And let me tell you this for people that are going to be gang stalkers. If you commit a premeditated sin, you are judged by God instantly right there. So if you are a gang stalker who may have been coerced in this, maybe you're a community leader and it was called something else to you, I would hate to tell you, my friend, you are the aggressor. You are a traitor against the United States of America. There is no reason to employ this. We have a system of laws. In the United States, in the West, we were built off of laws. Off of the rule of law, not the tyranny of the king. Okay? We have rights to due process. We have rights to defense. We have rights to submit evidence. Do not join this gang stalker program for money, for cards. To become a vigilante, it's not the right way. You're putting lives at risk, including yourself. What if you do this to a truly crazy person and they kill you? God forbid. So, I have about 5 minutes left. I am actually reading from my transcript here. I'm looking at about 5 minutes. I'm thinking in my head how I want to go ahead and close this. We do have targeted meetings, targeted individual meetings that's going on, so check it out on Twitter, Targeted Arizona, Targeted New York, and the umbrella of the organizers of those meetings. And if you do wish to come on to my podcast, you are welcome. I want to hear your story, and all of the other people that's curious about what is this mental illness, is this for real? I'm going to tell you, yes, it is for real. People have been discredited and falsely imprisoned in insane asylums underneath this program. I will be doing a podcast, an extensive podcast about the Stasi and how they operated. I am getting web links. I hear you guys. I see your messages. And it's just so nice just to put a voice behind the face, isn't it? I know. I sound incredibly cute. I look incredibly cute. Well, our community now has a fighter, and we are going to expose this, and we are going to get justice for all of the people in this program. So, with that said, guys, this is T.I. Dustin French 20. You can find me on Twitter. I will soon be on YouTube, and I will soon have various websites and blogs up. If you wish to reach out, just shoot me a DM and a TWIT, and I'm going ahead and sign out. Pray to God. Even if you don't believe in God, pray to God about it. And use this as an opportunity to reevaluate your life, too, as well. And guys, this is Targeted Individual Dustin French 20 signing out. Thank you guys for listening. Keep your heads up. And folks, God bless you. Thank you. And God bless the United States.
I'll try and download some more of his stuff if I can find it. But I hope everybody's doing good. I hope everybody's doing well out there, considering the bullshit. Police terrorism all night. As soon as I park here, I run that little podcast 2 minutes later. Now this could have been something normal, but usually somebody doesn't just pop up at 6:37 in the morning and go to sleep, like in an area where that's gonna be trafficked in like probably 30 to 45 minutes and shit. It's gonna be hella college students out, people coming out of their apartments, walking dogs and shit. And, we just so happen to just now plant all that shit right there and fucking lay down. But hey, who am I to say that's who am I to say that's one of their little terrorists? I can't say that for sure. I don't know, so it's just kind of strange. You don't see that too often. Oh, one tail light trigger. On cue. On cue, ladies and gentlemen. One tail light trigger. I got this on here. I'm hoping, I'm gonna go buy another fucking oh shit. I'm gonna go buy a fucking megaphone, man. I gotta get a megaphone. Cause this one keeps going out on me. And I wanna be able to I think they zapped it or some shit. I could have been screaming too loud in it, but I think they zapped it because it works for a little bit and then it just goes out. And the batteries be fully charged. And like after 30 minutes, it'll be okay again. I could speak for like 10 minutes and then that shit would go out. But I hope, I hope people were like kind of paying attention to what dude was saying, man. And just, even if you don't upload your evidence, get your evidence. Like stack all the evidence you can. All the evidence you can. Because they're touching they're like all your emotions, all your senses, all that shit. You're becoming like, I mean, you are, but, it's kind of undetectable. Like, you don't know how bad it is. Like, how bad you're becoming discombobulated and shit. In your subconscious and all that shit. Being stressed out, all that shit. Frequencies, sleep deprivation, all that shit fucking, it creates another character. It creates something, And then that paranoia shit is real, man. And I'm not saying like I'm a tough guy or no shit, but like just like the headlights and all that shit, like I'm not intimidated by these people, but like a person that doesn't know what's going on, especially a female or a young person, but a female, a female that's alone and all that shit, that doesn't know what's going on when these people are following you around with one headlight and shit constantly wherever you go. Like, that has to be pretty fucking scary. Like, all that shit that runs through your head psychologically, rape. You don't know if you're going to be raped. You don't know if you're going to be killed. A lot of weirdos take women and chop them up. And, women catch a lot of hell with these fucking weirdos, man. And for these people to know that and then push the psychological warfare on the women and shit, especially pregnant women. I feel sorry for a pregnant woman going through this shit. I feel sorry for the baby inside of a pregnant woman going through this shit. That baby is going to be fucked up. No pun intended, no disrespect.